Okay, today we have a special guest for you. We have author and teacher Cameron Cutts Pendergraft, and she is from Oxford, North Carolina, and she is going to be sharing some about her writing and her books and her journey through publication. And we're just going to ask her a few questions, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay. I'm going to call her Miss Cameron because that's what we're used to calling her. Okay. Miss Cameron, what inspired you to become a writer? Like, what started it all?
I actually have been writing stories since I was a little girl. I always kept a journal, not a diary, a journal. I wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And then when in high school, I wrote poetry. And in college, I wrote poetry. And I was an English major. And I did actually have poems published in my college. What was the book called? I was at Peace College. Did you guys go to Peace? No, not Peace College. Okay.
It's like a university publication.
Yes, yeah. of writings and poetry. And so I had some things published there. And then, of course, time went by. I had children. I was teaching. And it wasn't until, I never honestly even considered the possibility. But I had two very young grandchildren and twins. At the very same time, we had decided to adopt a dog. And to explain it to them, they were like 2.5 years old, I put it in story form. And I told them the story over and over and over again. And my girls and my son were like, Mom, you should try to get that published. It's such a sweet story. And it teaches so much about adopting from a shelter and blah, 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 blah. And so I wrote a story out and I sent it, like they all say, out everywhere. Nobody wants children's books. So I found through a high school friend a publishing company that liked to publish books about animals and pet rescue, which I look back on it now and I think I sort of got into maybe I should continue to reach out more and try different publishers. But they said yes. They came to my house. They took pictures and they loved the story and they bought the story. And because the book did so well and it got a lot of attention, they encouraged book number 2. And
you could show us the cover of your first book.
Okay. So this is a story about Tigger. It is actually, everything about the story is true. It's about our adopting our first rescue dog. Of course, I grew up out in the country, and we always had mutts. We always had dogs that just wandered up, but that's not the case anymore. So you go to a shelter, you get a dog, needs a home, and this is a sweet story about a dog who had been in the shelter for 7 months. So the story did so well, the publisher said, you've got to do another one. And this is true too, because I'm not so proud of the fact that we did go back to the shelter and adopted a little 3-legged son of a gun spitfire of a dog who's made our life miserable, but we wrote a book about her. Mm-hmm. And so they love my things, and I have loved working with them. And because of that, I've stayed with them, and they've shoo-shooed some stories that I've sent, but most of everything they accept, and I trust them with all illustrations. Once they buy the manuscript, it's theirs, but I have to admit I do have a lot of influence about the illustrations. Like, for example, this last book, The Tale of the Fairy Tree, they're 4 of my grandchildren.
Aww.
So
that's great. Has it been the same illustrator or different illustrators?
This is the same illustrator, Jennifer Tipton Capoen. She is the same illustrator for all of these books.
That's great. They're beautiful. one thing, a lot of our colleagues, they like to write, and they think of maybe we could write a book one day or get something published. But did you face any challenges trying to get it published, or get?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You
Okay.
just are told, no, 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 we're not interested in that. That's not something we're interested in. And I really think, not to be discouraging, but it does help to know someone. And I think I also read and purchase a lot of children's literature. And there are books out there that are no good. They're by famous people that got their book published because of who they knew.
Mm-hmm.
And it just saddens me. And truly, my daughter teaches first grade, and at the beginning of the end of the summer, the beginning of the school year, we'll just go through, and we don't throw books away, but we'll take them to donation bins because it's just a shame. But if you don't see Caldecott on it or Newbery Honor, because there's a lot out there that is just like People Magazine for children. It's not.
They're not high quality.
They're not high quality. Yeah. So it can be done. I know people that have spent a lot of money just publishing their own books.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with that is they do spend a lot of money, and then they don't, the books aren't edited well, and two cases I've seen, and I've read these books by local writers, and I just want to go, oh my gosh, oh I'm so, to myself,
Yes.
because they didn't get a good editor. Mm-hmm. And that is huge. And editor, even having an English degree, the editors will come to me and say, you didn't catch this, you missed that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did. So yeah, we're not all perfect.
No. And one thing I've found through being in the library is reading out loud to children. And some books don't read out loud well. Some of the sentences or the phrasing or the
right.
Yeah. And you're like, is that how I want that to sound?
Right. And that was too. This publisher, a lot of other books that they've published that are children's books were smaller. They wanted to know, why do I want my books to be so big? And I was like, you ever read to a group of kids?
Mm-hmm.
You got to have a big book.
That's right.
They got to be able to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want the pictures to be. They've got to be able to see the pictures, and So that's one of the reasons my books are even the size. I asked them to be the size that they are.
That's good. What kind of time frame has this been, like in the past 20 years, 30 years? Or like, what does your writing routine look like? Do you try to write some every day, or just when you feel inspired to write?
Only when I feel inspired.
Yeah.
For example, this came out in 2016. This came out 2 years ago. Yeah, well, maybe last year. They, a year ago, bought a manuscript from me that is so close to home. It's about Missy's granddaughter, my best friend who passed away 2 years ago. And I was, number one, thrilled that they accepted it, but it's been like a year and a half, and I'm just waiting to hear. And I understand. There are other books, there are other things that they're doing, but the way it works is one day I'll get pictures. I'll start getting pictures. Another day I'll get a call from an editor, and I have to sit down with her and just go through page by page, word by word. So it's once they latch on to you and say, we're ready to do your book, then you're in on it, and it pulls, because there are things they want to do, and they're very flexible, and there's some things they want to do that I don't want to do, and there's some things I want to do that they on me, but I usually win because I know children, and I know what children like, but that's the hard part. But getting something published is just keep your feelers out and try to find people that know people that are in the publishing community.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best advice I can give. And as far as you were asking me inspiration, yes, I don't just sit down and go, what can I write about? No, every one of these books is inspired by a situation. A friend of mine asked me to write this. Their family dog died, and she said, I think other families need a book to read about losing a pet. And so I didn't really know where to go. This is the actual picture of her son with their new dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to start it. So I said, Jennifer, do me a favor and just write down everything you can think of about Titus. And so I always want to say she wrote the book, because she told me everything about Titus, and that's how Losing Titus got written. So everything, yes, I didn't just sit down and make up these stories. These are pretty much based on something that really happened.
That's good. If you had to pick one of your favorite piece, what would you say? Or a favorite book?
Oh, it would have to be the story about Tigger.
The original.
The original one,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
The
Just
story.
is a sweet story. It every time, and I have read this book probably over 50 times to groups, and every time I read this story, I look out in my audience, and there's some big old tears coming down, and I'll stop and I'll say, don't be sad, because it ends so happy.
No.
So,
Yeah.
so you know, when a story is getting to their heartstrings, that it's a good story.
That's great. And another question I had, like, I guess it's individual. It's specific to each book, but what do you hope your readers like take away from your writing? You know, do you have like a?
I want children to learn to be compassionate.
That's great.
Yeah, since every story is about a lesson in compassion. This was a neighborhood cat that went from house to house, and everyone took care of him. There's a family that lost their dog. This is about a family bringing a new baby into the house and how the dog learns to accept the baby. This is about a little girl that tries to stay awake all night. It's about friendship. It's funny, it's cute, it's silly, but I still think in a way it teaches compassion. So that's my point. I want children to learn to be nice.
That's great. That's a great answer. Do you have anything in the works now?
Yes. Yes.
So you're waiting to hear back?
I'm waiting to hear about this book. I lost my best friend 2 years ago to a sudden brain aneurysm, and she has several grandchildren, but one of her little granddaughters is her. It just looks just like her, and she and I have a very special little bond, and she's always asked me for years, I want you to write a book about me. I want you to write a book about me. And I'd sit in my room and I go, Missy, help me. What can I write about Ellie? What can I write about Ellie? And so did what I did with the Titus book. I sent her Ellie's mom a text, and I said, just tell me everything about Ellie. I mean, I know a lot about her, but just tell me everything about Ellie. And so the story just made itself up, or maybe Missy made it up. But anyway, it's called Brave Ellie, and that is one that I was told at Christmas that I would be hearing any weekend to go over the edits, and I'm still waiting. So I'll just keep waiting.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that one.
Oh.
One last fun question.
Okay.
Looking back at your childhood, like, do you have a favorite book, and maybe like a little kid's book or an older young adult book? Do you have any favorite book that you would say?
Oh gosh. Oh, I loved all the Little House on the Prairie books. I read all of those. And Nancy Drew. That shows you how old I am. I read all Nancy Drew. Little House on the Prairie. And my grandmother read to me all the time. I can't. Oh, and I know when I get in the car, I'll go, why didn't I mention that book? But I was read to all the time.
That's good. And then you never get too old to be.
Oh, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh yes, To Kill a Mockingbird. Wasn't too crazy about Little Women.
I'm a big Anna Green Gables fan.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Those are great.
Anne of Green Gables. Oh yes. And I've tried to get my granddaughters to watch that movies.
It's so good.
But they're readers. They like to read, so but the books for middle schoolers it's there again, Yeah. But you got to get them to want to read.
Exactly.
I mean, if it gets them to love to read, then it's okay. Yeah.
Then they'll settle in their.
They'll figure
niche.
it out.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out. I just sent all 3 of my adult children a copy of The Prince of Tides. And I said, you don't have to read it now, but just promise me you will read this book before I die.
Oh,
and my son, I talked to him, those boys just pull on us. They pull on to mamas. I talked to him about a week after he got it, and he said, oh, I'm already like 4 chapters in. It's a great book. I love it. I'm trying to be real cool, So.
It'd be like a book report. Tell me what you've read. What did you read? What did you learn?
I didn't even expect him. I just want to know if he got it. He went, oh, I'm on 4 chapters in. So
that's great.
Anyway.
Well, we appreciate you taking your time and being with us today. And I can't wait to read all your books and see what else you have in store for us.
I'm so excited. Appreciate being asked. And take these to your library.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Take these.